Okay, look, this Pelicans team is stacked as hell, okay? I'm not denying that at all. They have a system that works, and they have a very, very talented core with a coach in Willie Green that has earned the respect of his squad. And at their ceiling, if everything goes right for this team, they can seriously make the Western Conference Finals. I truthfully believe that. But unfortunately, a very terrible thing has happened that completely prevents any of that from happening. A plague has hit this team. This innocent, cohesive team has been struck by this plague that has been very hard to manage, and it's gotten so bad that it's threatening their chances of having any success. I mean, everything seems to be going amazing, right? From the top down, this team has done such an amazing job. Trey Murphy was an elite pick at 17. Herb Jones in the second round. I mean, if it weren't for their elite drafting over the last couple of years, they wouldn't have the ceiling they do. B.I. and CJ have developed an amazing connection with each other, and CJ playing the one actually fucking works somehow. Everything seems to be developing perfectly for this Pelicans team. But then, again, this plague, this very dangerous plague has just gotten worse. And over the years, it's become extremely unpredictable. I mean, it has phases where it can be limited and containable, but over the offseason, it's hit an all-time high. And that plague has a name. Its name is Zion Williamson. And this plague has recently presented a very big question that has been hard for some to answer. But if you think about it, really, the correct answer isn't that hard to find. The question that the plague has presented is simply, what do you do? Do you take a risk and sit there and hope that an injury-prone star who has all of these off-the-court issues and doesn't have a relationship with his teammates can stay healthy and maybe make a positive impact on your team? Or do you cure this plague completely and obtain a piece that can 100% help your very cohesive lineup win? I personally would go with option 2. Look, I wouldn't be making this video if Zion was on a team like the Hornets or Pistons, alright? If that were the case, then they'd be able to afford to deal with his shit. But the Pelicans simply can't afford to deal with this shiny, once-in-a-lifetime player anymore. And it's not just because of his injuries. Please don't think that. It's because there hasn't been a team that has won a championship in recent history that didn't have elite chemistry and 100% cohesion. And the Pelicans without Zion are really close to meeting that criteria. As the season went on, we saw this group get closer and better without Zion on the court. But when you add a player like Zion to the mix, even when healthy, his 27 points a night don't mean shit when he has no relationship with any of his teammates and walks into the locker room with all this off-the-court baggage and drama. You just can't have that in your locker room if you want to compete for a championship, and that's been proven in the past. But Zion Williamson, someone who has cheated on his baby mama with a porn star, has been accused of being a woman beater, while also being sued for $2 million for not paying off a loan, has only played 114 games out of a possible 246, and has no relationship with his teammates. He's got 2 traits that a player cannot have if they want to make any positive impact on a team. He's got the off-the-court shit, and he can't stay healthy. And he's had injury issues since high school. This isn't something new, okay? There is nothing that indicates that he'll ever be able to stay healthy, and I haven't even mentioned his weight issues. But with all that said, there's still a way to cure that plague. Teams are still interested in Zion as a player, and there are teams out there that would give the Pelicans a valuable asset in return for Zion. Here's a possible deal that makes perfect sense for both teams. The Pelicans getting Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, 2 system scorers who have been in trade talks forever and have no baggage. They add amazing depth and would be way more beneficial than having Zion. Imagine a lineup of CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Brandon Ingram, Miles Turner, and Jonas Valanciunas, while having Alvarado, Herb Jones, Buddy Hield, and others off the bench. I mean, that team is beautifully constructed, and this deal makes sense for the Pacers because at the end of the day, they know they aren't competing for a championship, and if they have a chance to get Zion, they are going to take that chance. Again, the Pelicans cannot wait for Zion to maybe be healthy and maybe deal with his off-the-court shit. They need to compete now. A trade like this could also make sense. While unlikely, Cat coming in would be awesome for the Pels. Moving Val to the 5 and adding a big 3-level superstar takes that team to a whole new level. And Cat has proven to be able to stay healthy in the past. Having someone coming in replacing Zion and being able to shoot threes and stretch the floor would open up driving lanes for everybody. And last but not least, a deal for Paul George. PG is the opposite of Zion, okay? He's an amazing person, an amazing locker room guy, and he's a veteran who knows how to win. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be beneficial on the court. It makes sense for the Pels' win-now mentality, and it makes sense for the Clippers because they're inevitably going to have to rebuild in 2 years. So starting that process now would be a good idea for them. So at the end of the day, the Pelicans are an amazing young team with so much potential, and they need to compete right now. And with Zion on their roster, they just can't do that for the reasons I mentioned. So dumping Zion for valuable win-now assets will transform this Pelicans team into one we've never seen before. It's the only way to cure the plague and save the life of the Pelicans' championship chances. Thanks for watching.